just start by the biggest thing in the AFL at the moment, Adam Goods. What's your take on it all?
I'm going to talk about too much about the topic, but I think it's about time it all stopped, isn't it? I mean, it's a good test for all of us that, you know, when I say to my kids all the time, if you say to your sister you don't like it, stop, you know, stop. You don't like it, stop. It's just going to test our maturity as a country, isn't it? Whether we're going to or we're happy to continue doing something that somebody doesn't like, you know? I hope so. It'd be very sad if he decides to leave the game like that. He's a champion, and just think about how would you feel if every week 20, 30,000 people were pounding on top of you, whether it's by booing or yelling or screaming. It's not good. It's not a good thing to do to an individual, irrespective of the circumstances, and I think it's time it all stopped.
Are you gobsmacked by some of the stuff you're hearing?
Well, most time when someone does something wrong in the crowd's belief, it lasts a game maybe, it lasts a week, it doesn't last this long. It's just gone too far. Irrespective of your beliefs and what you think, just stop it. It's not good. It's not good to treat people this way. We've got a bad habit of it in our culture at the moment, whether it be social media, whether it be whatever. It's got a bad habit of pounding on the I guess the elite of our sports.
Yeah, it's a significant moment as this is the game, but do you see it on par with, you know, Michael Long and Nicky Whitmar and those sort of moments? Are we at a watershed mark at the moment?
Well, it depends what you think the issue is, but yeah, it is. I mean, and I think Chris Scott had a good point. If someone believes, and you know, Adam believes it's racist, it's racist. I mean, we don't know enough as a country how the Indigenous feel and how the minorities feel. We have to open our ears and listen, as opposed to shut those things off and just believe others should grow up. I mean, there's some real issues there that the Indigenous have, and all other cultures have, that people should listen to as opposed to dismiss, and I think that's important.
It sounds like, you know, RFL is just a vehicle that's been used at the moment. You're saying this is across the whole society, which makes sense, that this is a vehicle that's been used by some of those people is your game, which is a bit sad, but it happens in all codes, and it's right across the whole community, isn't it? Look,
it is, and maybe some of the people are just booing for booing's sake. They don't even know why they're doing it, but they've got to realise there is a reason, and it's not a good one. So, and it's hurting somebody individually, and it should stop. So, hopefully, we can be big enough as a community to realise that there's an individual getting hurt by it, and potentially more than just one, because it reaches the Indigenous community as well. There's more than just Adam that's getting hurt by it, and it's time to stop. So let's stop.
And what about the game this weekend?
Yeah.
Pierce, Dane, where are they at?
Both through a good chance to play. They nearly got up last week, but at this point in time, both, you know, Dane's shoulder looked like it was only going to be a week. He nearly got up for the game, woke up Saturday morning, and you know, he normally fights through those things. So if he couldn't last week, you know, it wasn't feeling that flash. But Pierce nearly played. It was a touch and then go. It was he got through the training session last week, but you know, he just hadn't. You know, just looking at his history, hadn't got through a game for a few weeks. Hadn't done enough training, so we went the conservative route. Of course, we wanted him to play. Always a better chance to win when he plays, but we just couldn't do it. You want him out for any longer.
Is Dane likely to play out the season? What's the status with him? And are you nearing the point where you might put the cue in the rack?
Well, that won't happen for a while. I mean, it's you know, we could potentially do that with a couple of weeks to go, but there's no reason why we want to do it now. The only reason, if he keeps falling on it, it can make it worse. If we feel there's a point it can be made worse, yes, we will pull him, because we just don't want that. You know, it's fine if you can continue to play with an injury, but if you can't continue to do it and you go from a 5-month rehab to a 7-month rehab, but there's no way in your right mind, irrespective of what other people think our intentions are, that you could do something like to a player.
Are you concerned that people might target him though?
It's a sort of injury it's hard to target. I mean, it's only when you're on sort of full extension and fall, and there's only certain particular movements that will potentially aggravate it. So it's not something, if you bump it, it doesn't do anything. So it's not something that you can potentially target by opposition.
With 6 weeks left, how many guys are you unsure of in regards to their future? How many guys are playing to that deserve spots?
Oh, everyone's playing for a spot, Michael, but I've said this week in, week out, unfortunately the large majority of our players we want to play haven't been playing this year, and you know, we've had an unsettled list, so you know, you talk about the futures of players, a lot of them, you know, Jackson Payne's missed most of the year. How do you make a judgment call on that? So they're things our list, and we don't talk about the specifics of what we're doing, but there's been a bit of bit of hard luck for some players this year, a bit of hard luck for the club, that we just have to, it's been a really good year for us to understand what happens individually in hard times with us and how we behave and what we do. And I've been very impressed by the 90% of how the club's responded in difficult times, and that will hold us in good stead for long term, because the easy times are the easy times. Good times, everyone has, that's easy. But the hardest period, like my first 8 years as a player at this footy club, was difficult, but people only remember the good times. But these are the times that make you as a footy club, and I've been very impressed by what's going on in the background. From, as I said, 90% of our club, it's been terrific.
Leppa, would the injury to James H accelerate talks with him in his future?
No, I don't talk to James and anyone about that. I mean, we're all hopeful he stays and that works out and it plays out. There's no specifics been done. He's only just had the surgery. It's not as if we've just ran to his hospital bed and said, "What are you doing?" Like, give him a bit of time to do his thing.
But will you leave that to the end of the season, or will that naturally happen?
Peter Swab and Pickering and those guys will work that out. So I'll stay out of those sorts of things.
A bit of talk around priority pick and potential of it being asked for here. Do you see it as a necessary?
It depends how quickly the AFL community want us to get better, and we've taken away the academy advantages we've had. So obviously there's no real thought that they want this club to get better quicker. We've had a huge amount of list changes and list challenges. So yeah, 1 draft pick's fantastic. 2 is even better, isn't it? So it really depends. But I think Paul Roos said the same thing about Melbourne last year. He's 1 draft pick in the top 4 quick enough, and how quickly can you get better, particularly now that there's free agency and you can just top up with someone of equal quality very quickly. But that's something for the lawmakers to decide whether we deserve one or not. Who knows? We're in the last 6 games. They'll definitely say no, won't they? We lose the last 6, they'll probably say yes. Who knows? I mean, that's sort of out of our hands.
So obviously it'd help. It might not be a quick fix.
Of course it'd help. Yeah, of course it'd help. I mean, not forgetting that we do have, as I said before, 3 or 4 young keys that haven't played a lot this year. Jono Freeman and Closey's been out all year, and Dan McStay really hasn't had any help and support down there. So look, we have got some kids we could line up next year that we haven't seen this year without the draft. But the better the quality of person you have in your organisation, the quicker you'll get better. That's just the facts.
Speaking of tours, you've had a couple of weeks now of Leuenberger and stepping back in the side. What did you make of them on Saturday night and going forward?
I thought Steph marked the ball well in the forward 50. Straighten up that goal kicking will be okay. He missed a few, but he provided that big target for us, which was good. And I thought Louis did a really good job and had a difficult game at the start of the year against North Melbourne, and I thought he turned that around and sort of neutralised that contest. So I think you go tick for both those boys, but just have more jumping on board each week.
Do you reckon it's a one-horse race, this comp? It's not the team on top. What do you think?
No, there's always a twist and turn to the season, and that's the beauty about our game. I mean, we sit here and comment on the game week to week, and we ride the emotions week to week. But realistically, that last 2 weeks is the only thing that matters. Yeah, there's only 3 or 4 potential starters that we all think might win it, but yeah, there might be an outsider. But of that 3 or 4, all you need to get is to that preliminary final week, you're a chance to win. That's it. So anyone who finished in that top 4, Hawthorn merely lost a couple of prelims as well. So they've been that close to not even being in it. So we just forget those things. Get to the top 4, give yourself a chance. That's what it's all about.
Alka mentioned this week how hard it is to get the 3-peat. You'd obviously know as well how difficult it is to go.
Yeah. No, 3's easy, 4's difficult. That's it. No, obviously it's very three grand finals in a row, premierships in a row. I mean, people think it's just about that team that particular year. That's years of list management, years of hard work, putting together to create that end point. It's not just a team decided all that we're going to win 3 in a row today. It's evolved over a long period of time, and it's credit to their organisation. They're a solid organisation from the top to the bottom. Players buy into the plans really well, and they execute brilliantly. So yeah, look, it'd be great for them to win 3 in a row. I'm not one of those to say that I don't. I think it's going to be terrific for them to join the club if they do. Yeah, but I'm not really worried about it. We're going to beat them in a few weeks' time, hopefully down in Tassie, and knock off their chances. So.